It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for allowing me to be able to share my journey thus far with everyone. And as Sister mentioned, it's not been very long. I've been very lucky in the first place to even step into this this path, and allow me to just share what I have been experiencing, and hopefully we'll be able to continue experiencing this. So, to give you a background, I need to tell you a little bit before. I used to be a very different person mentally, emotionally, in the wants, in the desires, and the viewpoints. Things were very different, priorities were very different back then. It was all about accomplishment, recognition, the worldly wins are the 8 worldly wins: the praise, the fame, the gains, the pleasures. Just to show you a little bit, I used to be very involved in wine activities. I was the president of the wine club when I was in university. I started it, encouraged a lot of people to drink, to taste, to partake. It was very successful. It was very successful in the sense that it got a lot of people involved. A lot of people in London would come over, enjoy it, mixing around with friends of the same mindset at the time. Being involved in many activities, wanting to be as good as I can in golf, in koi, in the association, in the property association that I was heading and chairing at the time. We were featured very often in magazines, newspapers, almost monthly. All these things were pleasurable, of course, right? You gain a lot of recognition, you gain a lot of fame, and what came out was that you wanted more. Oh, okay, you're on the cover of this magazine, you want to be on the other one, you want to be recognized on another one, because that was the measure of success, I thought, at that time, right? To be successful, to be good at what you do, to be good in the business that you do, you also want people to recognize you. You want people to be able to see you, understand that, oh, you are there, you have this ability, you can do this. People then trust you, they come buy your properties, buy your products. Yeah, it is helpful. I must say, it is helpful. We run a business where we develop properties, sell properties, and yeah, that recognition does give people trust and say, oh, okay, these guys know what they're doing, right? I can trust them, I can buy things from them, it won't collapse overnight. It does help. But then you realize it gets more than that. It becomes very personal. Oh, I want it. I need this recognition, right? That guy has it, I also want it, right? How come I don't have that recognition and the other person has? I want to be as good, or I want to be better than another person. So that was my chase for a long time. I must say that I did very well. I got to the heights that I wanted to. Was I happy? No, because why? I wanted more. Or I wanted at least to continue being the best. But then you realize, it's not possible. How come I could do it then? So playing golf, I don't know if any of you play golf. When I do something, I become quite extreme. I really put a lot of effort. I put a lot of time. I put a lot of determination into what I do. So I wanted to win this whole entire year league, having a bet with friends, and it became a chase. It became a chase of who's better, who's going to be at the top of the ladder. From the start of the year at a 23 handicap, I finished the year at a 12 handicap, winning the competitions that I wanted to win. But at what price? I was at the golf course 5-6 days a week. Saturdays, Sundays, I'll be playing golf. Come back home, my kids will be, Daddy, let's go out. I'm just too tired. I want to sleep. And then next day, go back onto the golf course. It's a lot of determination, a lot of hard work. It paid off materially. It paid off in what I wanted to do. So at the end of the year, I improved a lot. Then I thought, I'm really good. I'm going to go chase the next one. I'm going to go to become a single handicapper. I'm going to bring my skills even higher. And then you keep pushing yourself, and then, I did get better. I actually did get better. Whatever I wanted to do, I could do it, Then the arrogance kicked in. I can do this. When I can do this, I'm going to hit further. I'm going to drive longer. And after a while, things started falling apart. You can no longer do it. Things go haywire. You want a ball to go straight, it goes right, it goes left, it goes everywhere. To the point I was like, what's happening? I didn't know what I was doing. I had engaged 3 coaches that year. One coach to teach me a technique, another coach to watch me at practice in the indoor range, and another coach on the course to go through strategies with me. So a lot of dedication, a lot of money, a lot of time was spent. Then I thought, hey, I should be very good, right? I should maintain what I had. How come I'm deteriorating? How come I'm going so bad? How come I can't even hit the ball straight anymore? I called my coach, and he looked at me, he was like, what's happened to you? Why are you doing this? Why are you becoming like this? I didn't understand. So I got very pissed off. At that time, in the early days when I was playing, we would play 18 holes, and no, let's go, 9 more. Even though it's dark, we go 2 more holes. We'll shine our phone torchlights just to play an extra 1 or 2 holes, even though the whole course is pitch black. That was the extreme that we went to. To the point that I was doing so badly, after 3 holes, I was thinking, oh my goodness, there's 15 more to go? Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this anymore. What did I do? I switched. I went from one thing to another thing. I went from a hobby to another hobby. I went from one passion to another passion. Did the same thing. I put a lot of effort, I put a lot of determination, did very well. Same thing happened. I moved to another one, same thing happened. Then I was like, this is crazy. This is mad. How come? Why do I keep having this sort of feelings? So the question I asked myself, is this really happiness? I got what I wanted. Well, it didn't last long. It didn't continue. It wasn't permanent, right? I could not maintain it. I could not get better. It was a huge roller coaster ride. When you're high, you're really high. When you're down, you're really down. So I thought, no, this cannot be the way. But I was still very determined. Now, the word determined I use in a very good sense, but the actual sense was very stubborn. didn't want to let go. Didn't want to admit defeat. So I said, okay, fine. If I can't do this, I've done everything humanly possible. I'm going to go seek unhuman ways, divine ways. In the past, you asked me to go to pray altars. I was like, nah, I don't believe this. Being trained in the UK, worked, studied there, it's physics, civil engineering, everything, can be understood by science. You come back here, you have a lot of superstitions, right? Prayers, asking for help, etc. I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it. I came back, my dad was telling me, we've got feng shui masters. I was like, what is this? This is so Chinaman. I said, please don't do these sort of things. That was my attitude coming back 20 years ago. But you come to a point of desperation that, I can't do this. Let's seek divine help. Go and try. And that's where I started going another extreme, looking for fortune tellers, meeting everyone. Patsi, I'll see you. Face reading, I'll see you. Palm reading, I'll see you. I met so many. Clairvoyants, whomever was good, I'll fly there to see them, etc. Just to say, why can't I do this? But the questions I was asking, I wasn't trying to find an answer. I was trying to find someone to agree with what I was doing. I was trying to find validation. I'm correct, right? What this person says is not correct. So this huge delusion continued for a long, long time. But also, there were things that sparked my path, sparked my journey. Let me think, maybe about 8 years ago, my mom's 60th birthday, I got her a gift. I got her a present. Hard work to go and try and get it. But then, you know what? She's never used it. She's never used it for the last 6-7 years. It's sitting in a cupboard somewhere, I think. you know. Then the next year, I'm thinking, then what do I buy next? What do I get next? You know, materially, we are very blessed. What do I get my mom? What do I get my dad? What else can I offer them? What can I give them that they don't already have? Give them something and they don't even use it. What's the point? So, scratching my head, struggling as a son, what can I do? Then the question will come up, what else can I offer my parents? What can I do for them? And at that time, I was in my search journey, you know, and then I came across a video. It was actually by the late Sam Rinpoche. At that time, I didn't know Buddhism, I didn't understand, you know. Oh, a monk. Okay, let's just listen. So he was saying that it's very meritorious for the parents if a son or a child goes forth, even temporarily in the Thai tradition. And I was like, what? I'm not going to shave my hair. I'm not going to do this, right? But then the talk continued, and he's like, no, even the Thai king does it. He does it for two weeks at least, you know, in his life. And I was thinking, oh, okay, the Thai king can do it, why can't I do it, right? How am I better than the Thai king, right? Yeah, why can't I do it? So yeah, that was what sparked me. So I started looking for places. I went to Chiang Mai, trying to find a place to do it. Fortunately, at the time, we had a friend. She was a very famous fortune teller in Thailand. So she brought me around to look for places. But then she also advised me. She said, it's not much point that you go there because you're speaking Thai. You don't gain anything. And then she warned me. She says, don't think going in there, just wearing a robe, shaving your head, you come out with more merits. You don't keep your precepts, you come out with more demerits than you go in. I was like, oh, okay. Let me think about it. You know, try to see whether I can do it first. But that thought continued. That thought festered, developed, and that was something that really helped me in this journey, in the search. Now, in this line, I also realized, looking back in this path, there were very instrumental people, right? Kalyanamitas, I would call, and I would like to share them with you. So, the first Kalyanamitas, my parents. I look back and I'm very grateful and very thankful. Why? If I wasn't born to these parents, I wouldn't have had the condition to do the things I did. I did every extreme. I enjoyed sense pleasures beyond your imagination. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I've got many t-shirts. My closet's full of t-shirts. But then you still don't get satisfaction. You still don't get happiness. But I contemplated, I'm very lucky. Had I not had such conditions, have I not had the vipaka of having these parents, I wouldn't be able to have done what I did. So I look back, I'm very grateful to them. And when I started learning the suttas, this really struck me, you know, where the Buddha said, it's very hard, very, very hard to repay the parents. Extremely, extremely hard to repay the parents. Even if you carry them in your shoulders, your mother and father in your shoulders for 100 years, bathe them, anoint them in oil, wash their feces, urine, you can't repay them, right? You give them all the jewels, establish them as kings of the world, you can't repay them. And I was thinking, oh wow, see, all the material stuff doesn't matter. You can buy every handbag, every watch, everything in the world. But yeah, you'll be happy for a while, then after that, it goes down again. There's this roller coaster up and down again. It's not permanent. And then he says, oh, unless you establish them in saddha, in confidence, unless you establish your non-virtuous parents in virtues, you establish them in chaga, generosity, establish them in panya, wisdom. Oh, okay. How do I do that? If I want to do that, I first must practice it. I first must be an example, right? If I can't even do it, how do I tell someone else to do it? Right? I always have this thing where, imagine someone smoking here tell you, don't smoke, don't smoke. Would you listen to them? You won't. You're like, maybe in what do you call that? respect or courtesy, you're like, okay. But behind you think, this guy doesn't even walk the talk. And you're asking me to do it? Why should I listen to you? Right? You're not doing it. So this was something that pushed me. It gave me fuel to say, okay, I'm going to do this. Right? I'm going to do this. If I don't do this, right, how can I convince another? Or how can I set an example for my parents or my family even to walk this? So I never used to look like this. In the past, I spent a lot of money on my hair, on my beard. I would go to True Fit and Hill, pay 200 ringgit each time, get a certain barber. He must cut my hair in a certain way, must shave it in a certain way. And you feel so happy. After coming out, paying 200 ringgit is expensive. But after coming out, you're like, oh, I feel so good. Friends will say, oh, so lang zai, so handsome. You look like Tony Stark, you look like Iron Man. Oh, the ego comes up even further. But then my hair grows very fast. In a week, it goes out of shape. Then every time I look in the mirror, why can't it gel this way? Why is it pointing up, looking this way? You get frustrated. After 1 week, you start getting very frustrated. Then I was thinking, oh, if I want to maintain this, I need to do it every week. Oh, every week. It's going to be 800 ringgit a month. It's crazy, right? And not only that, money is one thing. Secondly, it's very hard to get an appointment with this guy. Every time I try and get an appointment, it gets pushed back. So I said, okay, fine, I'll deal with 2 weeks, right? I'll deal with 2 weeks. So when I cut my hair, very happy. Over the week, it goes down. You get very, very upset, very upset. Then I got to go again. Oh, happy again, down, happy again, down. So that was a cycle. It's a crazy cycle, a silly cycle. I was upset most of the time, I realized. Then came MCO. MCO came. I was like, I can't get my hair cut right now. What am I going to do? I smuggled him. I said, come. Go to one of our apartments. I smuggle you there. Right? I'll still pay you. Come. Went up there. He cut my hair. After cutting, I'm like, it's not as good as when you did it in a salon. I'm still giving you 200 ringgit. You don't have to share the salon. And then you do my hair this way? Oh, I was upset again. I said, forget it. Don't come. Then I convinced myself, it's MCO. No one will look at you. No one will see your hair, right? Worst case scenario, later, you cut it again. So, okay, sat at home, hair growing, becoming more like a rambutan. To the point I couldn't take it. So, okay, got a shaver. I told my wife, can you cut for me? I can't do it. If I do it this way, I'm going to create a hole in my head. I was so concerned about my hair, so concerned about my looks, even at home, even during MCO. My wife was so happy. Oh, okay, come. Let me do it for you. Sat in front of the mirror. I was looking in the mirror. She's zzz. Then the more it goes on, hey, something not right. What are you doing? I asked her, what are you doing? She said, shh, don't worry. Just let me continue. Then it went shorter and shorter. I was like, what? What is this? I was getting very angry. I was getting very, very upset with her. What is this? And she started. Then she admitted, I'm going to give you a Korean boy haircut. Very short hair, long hair. Wow, I was so angry. No, that's not what I want. I didn't ask you to do that, right? I said, forget it, give it to me. Then I was like, okay, she already cut so short. Fine. I went to the clipper. I got the longest guide, 6 mm. Forget it. Shave. Zip. I started shaving. Because she already started it. I can't go back now, right? So shave. When I finished, I looked myself in the mirror. Oh my goodness. The thoughts that came. What are my staff going to think of me? What are my business associates going to think? What are my friends going to think? So concerned, I was so worried. But then, again, I convinced myself, it's okay, MCO. Your hair will grow in 2 weeks, then go back to True Fit and Hill. It's okay, don't worry. Okay, fine. Went downstairs, went for dinner. Whoa, to my shock, my mom screamed at me. She shouted, What's wrong with you? Why you do this? You look so ugly. What are you doing this for? You crazy? I was looking at my mom and was like, why are you so upset? It's my hair. Why are you so upset? It's not your hair, it's my hair. And in 2 weeks it will grow out. Right? I didn't have the time to explain to her. She was just angry, scolding. Oh, my goodness. This is terrible. Then it dawned upon me and shocked me. My mother could not let go of my hair. Oh, this is really serious, you know. This is really bad. She can't let go of my hair. Then I think back. Oh, well, I can't let go of my hair. Right? I had the same thoughts. So my thoughts were like her. First thing when I saw the mirror after I shaved, oh, what's this person going to think? How are they going to see me? Are they going to say, this guy zao fo yak mo? Something wrong with him? You know? Did something go wrong? So that contemplation kept coming up. Why can't I let go? Why can't I let go? Why can't I let go? Then I decided, for the sake of my mother, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to train her and train myself. So every 2 weeks I shave. Every 2 weeks I shave. Every 2 weeks I shave. Oh, the complaint continued incessantly. My mother was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You know, stop cutting your hair like this. Stop shaving your hair. And, you know, being a very determined / stubborn person, I don't listen. I just continued, did what I wanted to do. Then she would go to my uncle to try and talk to me. My uncle would say, hey, your mom don't like you cutting your hair this way. I said, it's okay, it's hair. No big deal, right? Because the thought that came, on the day my mother really has to let go, on her deathbed, she can't let go of my hair. How can she let go? Hey, this is really bad, you know. This is really bad. So I made it a point. I continued to do it. But then, you see, even at 6 mm, there were subtleties of holding on still. After a while, I realized, wow, 6 mm, very fast, I need to shave again. Okay lah, let's do 3 mm, the next one down. Went to 3 mm. After I cut it, I'm like, whoa, is my mother going to make noise again? Because by that time, after a few months, I think she kind of gave up. Yeah, this guy very stubborn, don't listen to me. So she didn't really make so much noise anymore. She may not have liked it, but you know, she stopped making noise. So I went to 3 mm, cut it, went downstairs. Oh, no reaction. She didn't say anything. Oh, okay, safe. Then at the time I was doing, my beard goes fast, so I do 3 mm here, and the lowest one, 1.5 here. Do 1.5 here. Okay, continued for a few months. Then that weekend, I was supposed to accompany Bante Arya as his kapiya in Thailand. I said, okay, go shave. I took the wrong one. I went 1.5 mm in my head. Zoom. The moment I did it, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm almost bald. Oh, it shocked me. You know, even you see 3 mm to 1.5, you still have this shock in yourself. Then I'm like, die, this time die. Sure, she's going to make noise. Hey, I went downstairs. Oh, nothing. Okay. I've conditioned her from 6 to 3 to 1.5. I haven't conditioned myself. I myself was still shocked. So, you know, just to share with you, there are a lot of subtleties, so much subtleties in just letting go, just hair, right? So unimportant things that grow up. I have a lot of hair, grows up so quickly. So this was one of the things I started doing. But then, I still could not let go of drinking. At the time, late 2020, I met Ayya Sumangala. She was sharing with us about 5 precepts, etc. You know, I was looking at it. Okay, Panatipata can, Adinadana can, Kamesumichachara can, Musavada can. Yeah, 5th one. Why? Why do I need to? Why do I need to? Why must I stop? I used to crazy drink. I partied a lot. I could drink a bottle of XO myself and a bottle of wine. I still drive home. It's very dangerous. I've almost fell asleep, almost crashed a few times. But I still couldn't give up. And my thought to myself was, hey, I drank so much last time. I've reduced a lot. I've calmed down a lot. Why do I need to let go? Now, it's just like 4 guys, 4 friends, once a month. We have a long dinner, have a bottle of wine each. Not harmful. So I started asking people, it's okay, right? It's no problem, right? Trying to get people to validate me. I look at translations of Surah Miraya. I went online, I went to look at translations, I went to look at books. See, do not take intoxicants which leads to heedlessness. Okay. And so I was trained in law as well. So, you know, trying to lawyer my way out of it. What if I'm not intoxicated? What if I'm not heedless? Can, right? No problem. You know, what was said was that you do things by the letter, you follow the letter, and you follow the spirit. Hey, the spirit was, why? Sarakani could drink, he was Sotapanna, No problem, right? Can drink, right? No issue. What's wrong with having some drink? What was the spirit of the fifth precept? So that you don't get intoxicated, heedless, and then you start breaking the first four. Okay, I can take it. 1 glass, no problem, right? 2 glass, no problem, right? Okay, what? I don't break my 4 precepts, no issue. So I tried to convince myself. I tried to tell everybody or get people to agree with me. Right? I'm reading the translation correct, right? But deep down, I know something not right. It's bugging me. But outside, I would try to convince myself. So, still have a problem. Now, this night, why I'm showing you this, and very, very grateful to this friend as well. He's very generous. This was the night. He invited me to his house. There's 10 of us, 10 bottles of the best wines in the world. On this table, so I think at that time, 400,000 ringgit. I wouldn't pay for it. I spent silly money, but I wouldn't have spent such crazy money, 60,000 ringgit, 1 bottle of wine. So 10% is 6,000 ringgit in the glass. But I was thinking, I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thanks, Brahma, for inviting. If not for you, I wouldn't get to taste this. Whilst we were tasting at that dinner, everyone was talking about it. Usually we would talk about, what do you get? What notes you get? What sort of nuances on the nose, tongue? I started having a conversation with myself. I was sitting down there, and in the past, I used to ask the question, why must I let go? Why must I let go? I didn't get the answer. Because I realized I was asking the wrong question. That night, somehow, why can't I let go? And I started talking to myself. It's this angel-devil chit-chat. Here, why can't I let go? It's like, if you let go, next time Brahma invites you, you cannot drink. All the FOMO, all the fear of missing out come up. Right? Another guy, Stephen, head of HSBC, inviting you to his house, planning another dinner. It's like, I want to go. If I give up, I can't. If I let go, I cannot go. Right? I don't get to drink. Then this side will reply, but you're already drinking the best wines in the world. What more you want? Apa lagi lu mau? What more you want? Then I think, it's true. I'm already having it, right? And this side will reply, you're only drinking 1990. 1985 you haven't tried. Legendary vintage 1978. I have a bottle which I kept since my university days, 20-something years. Don't want to drink it. Still there. Then, true, how can I give up without even trying the best that's there? Then this side will say, okay, fine, tomorrow I drink it. Tomorrow I buy the other bottle and drink it. Then what? Then the other side will say, 2000, year 2000 you haven't tried. 2005 you haven't tried. 2009 you haven't tried. That shocked me. I suddenly looked at my mind. That shocked me. This will never end. It just will never end. It will continue and continue and continue. I drank something great and I'm happy for a while. Then I see someone else drinking something better and then I want it. Then I want the next one. I want the next one. I said, cannot. I cannot keep going on like this. That night I decided, no more. This is going to end. So I looked at the calendar. Okay, when am I going to stop? Find a suitable date. Okay. In a short while, my dad's birthday. Okay. I told my dad, last drink with you. He was like, yeah, all right. Even he didn't believe me. Talk money lah you. Right? Because he saw me going through passion after passion after passion. For him, it's like, you will do this for a short while, then come back again. But that was 2020 November. I've not had anything anymore after that. See, the problem was in the past, I used to always resist. You go on certain diets, I tahan. I don't look at you eating, don't show me. Right? Then I can resist not eating. But after a while, that will break. Never mind, a little bit, just try. It didn't work. But this time, I did something very different. I didn't resist. I let go. But yet, Mara will come. So the next time I went to a friend's birthday dinner, I told her, I don't drink. It's okay, just come, have dinner, drink some water. Sitting next to another wine friend, very generous. Then he was asking me, Sam, why are you not drinking? I said, I've let go already. I stopped drinking, retired. I told him I retired. Really? Then he asked me, have you tried Romanée-Conti, the most expensive wine in the world? I've not. How can you not try? and then you give up. How can you stop? Okay, I open for you. 1 glass. Oh, suddenly I was like, oh yeah, 1 glass. It came up again. It's so subtle, That temptation came up again. But then I saw, see, coming up again. It won't end. I said, no, thank you, Dato'. You're very, very kind, very generous, but thank you. I really have given up already. Again, keeps testing you. And then over time, it doesn't anymore. You can do anything in front of me, it doesn't affect me anymore. I look at my mind. It's okay, really, I've let go. My friends will still try and test smell a sip a drop Alright? In the early days when I started this, you have some inkling, one thing. But over time, when I keep conditioning, reprogramming my mind, it doesn't affect me anymore. I could. So it was a journey. Now, my second Kalyana Mitta, my wife, I was able to do all the silly things I did because I have this wife. So I'm very grateful. Right? We would joke and laugh about things that I've done. I look back and say, okay. It's quite fun. I don't regret. I actually don't regret anything I did. Because I look back at it, that was the conditioning for me. To have gone through, done that, got all the t-shirts to realize, not very fun. Not very satisfying. So I did all this and then so what? Get a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. A very lousy ROI. Yeah, you get happiness. Happy, you're really happy. Really, really, very happy. Upset, you're very upset. And then you realize you could go through a lot of upset just to get that small piece of happiness. Wow, terrible return on investment. Not worth it. So, very grateful to my wife. That's our third baby, a product of Uposatha, which I have learned after that. And it was a journey. So my second Kalyana Mitta, my wife, very grateful to her. And because of that, as we started continuing, I started observing the 5 precepts. And when I went to SPS, Bhante Arya allowed me to train with the Sangha there. I had to start practicing 8 precepts. I was like, how am I going to let go of dinner? How am I going to stop dinner? I used to have 4 meals. I must have supper before I sleep, otherwise I cannot sleep. I was way, way bigger than I am now. But over time, I did. And then when I continued doing it, I was telling my wife, I'm going to observe Uposatha. I'm going to do this. I explained to her what I was doing. She said, okay. Then she was like, I'm going to join you. Okay. I didn't ask her to. She wanted to join me. Okay, good. Come, sadhu, do it. Then over time, one day, my second daughter, Emily, she was in Ayat Sumangala's one-day meditation for kids. Then when I was going to pick her up, Ayah came and told me, Sam, Susanti, her Pali name is Susanti. Susanti, just now I offered her some biscuits. She was saying, no, thank you, Ayah. I'm going to observe Uposatha today. Wow. Okay, very good, sadhu. So I was making sure, you make sure you don't get gastric, because when you start reconditioning your body, it's not so easy. So you make sure you take some honey if you feel hungry, right? So you don't get gastric pains. We just must be wise also. You want to do something, you must realize your body acids will come up because you've been eating for a long time for dinner. The body clock will not naturally run. Then I say, okay, good. Encourage her, continue. Then my elder daughter, Sumeda, she also said, okay, I'm going to join too. I'm like, okay, very good. So only the other day I asked Susanti, why did you do this? I never asked her this question. Only last month, I think, I asked her why. She says, I saw you and Mummy doing it. Then I also thought of doing it. I went, okay, good. So I realized, we need to walk the path. If we ourselves don't do it, or we tell others to, they won't follow. So okay, let's do it. Just do it. So I'm grateful that, we start doing this together as a family. And third Kalyana Mitta, if you see the picture, the bhikkhuni there, at the time she did a 1-year ordination as a bhikkhuni. She was, or she is still one of the most famous fortune tellers in Thailand. So I'm very grateful to her. And when she wanted to become a bhikkhuni, I also tried to create the conditions for her as gratefulness and thankfulness to go train with the Sangha in SBS, stay in the cave there, whatever she needed, we helped her. Because again, come back to this sutta, and I recollect this, very helpful person, and a person who has helped me to come to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. This was the person. Right? I didn't want to go through the long story, but she told me, and it caught on to me. She says, because she can see, she has psychic powers to be able to see, and she says, your highest path is to learn the Buddha's teaching. I'm like, huh? What? Really? But I would examine, I would try, I would experiment, see what she means. Then as I try certain things, wanting to do a certain practice, then she was like, no, wait, look carefully, yeah? This is not the Buddha's teaching. Right? So I'm very lucky. I have a lot of guaiyan. Just about to go down this path, people will pull me back. Sometimes conditions will happen that pulls me back. Wait, check carefully. Go study carefully. So okay, I went to study further, deeper. So this person, very grateful, the third Kalyanamitta. And I mentioned earlier, Ayah Sumangala, fourth Kalyanamitta. Also very grateful to her. Why? Because of her, our family was able to start practicing together. So the two girls went to the kids class, ARK at the time, and Dhamma learning is a family. So Ayah's policy was that the parents must join. The parents cannot just drop the kids and then you go shopping, and then the kids, go for Dhamma class and then you both go hang around. Now, for me, I was thinking, okay, I'm practicing already, but my wife wasn't yet. I know her inclination was, yeah, let's drop them. Don't need to go. I won't go. So I said, okay, I'm going to go as well. We go together. Everyone go, So we continued. So it was very, very beneficial. Something I'm very grateful for. And the fifth Kalyanamitta, Bhante Arya. It was that time when I wanted to do that temporary ordination, but MCO, everything was closed at the time. Then I was just going online, looking, searching. Suddenly, monk training center in Taiping. I didn't know who Bhante Arya was, didn't know what SBS was. Then I wrote into him, dear Bhante, may I get permission to come and do temporary ordination for a short while? Then he write back to me, in SBS, we follow the Pali Vinaya strictly. There is no such thing as temporary ordination. There is full ordination. If you want to, the real serious, renounce everything and come to be a monk. I said, not for me yet, right? Then after that, having exchanges with him, he allowed me to train with the Sangha as a yogi for 10 days. That changed my life. That was a turning point in my life. I've never meditated before. Suddenly you go in there, you're going to do 5 hours a day. The first week was the most torturous thing in my life. Sitting down, sit. 5 minutes only? What? Cannot. Sit. Are you another 5 minutes? My goodness. How am I going to pass the next 2 hours, 50 minutes? Cannot do this. Then, okay, walk, turn, walk. Are you another 10 minutes only? Torturous. For the first week, it was torturous. So I resorted to reading a lot. But during meditation time, the rule was, library out of bounds, no reading, you must meditate. So okay, did that. Then I asked Bhante, what book would you recommend? It was him who pointed me to the suttas. He says, he asked me, go to the library, look for In the Buddha's Words, Bhikkhu Bodhi. Right? In there, you'll find the translation of the Pali suttas in English. And better than you hear it from me, you read it yourself. It's as though the Buddha is in front of you teaching you. Oh, okay, thank you. So I read a lot, because what else to do? Nothing to do, no phone, no nothing. Right? No idea what's happening. It came to the point I didn't even know what day it was. Because totally cut off from outside contact. So when I read, I was like, oh, wow, okay. This is not what other people have told me. Right? Some people would have, said certain things. This is how Buddhism is. At the time, new, you're learning, speaking to different people. Then I'm like, doesn't gel with what they said. But this can't be wrong, right? The suttas themselves can't be wrong. What's happening? So I continued reading further. And because of Bhante guiding me there, and then later continually observing Uposatha, what to do? Cannot watch TV, cannot listen to music, listen to suttas. Sit down, listen. Bhante Dhamma Buddho. because of his hard work, his years and years and years of hard work. Wow, I was like, fantastic. I found this great monk who is narrating the sutta and explaining. He narrates, then he explains. You stop here for a while and explain. He narrates, stop here for a while, explain. Because of him, and then at the time I was continuously observing Uposatha, even at certain points, whole months. I managed to go through all the 5 Nikayas. And then you're like, oh wow, okay. I start to get an understanding. Because at first when you start listening, I was like, what is he talking about? Totally don't understand. What is sanya? What is vijnana? What is... Totally cannot get all the concepts. But as you continue, just continue and continue, then pieces of the puzzle start to make sense. So now I'm going through again, because things at that time I didn't understand, I listened to. Now you listen and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of get it now, get it a bit more. So very, very helpful. I'm very grateful. But then I realized, oh, he's passed away. I didn't get to meet him. But, this monk has done so much. Then you look at his YouTube. This chapter, only 100 overviews. It's been there for 11 years. How few people actually use this? All we needed to do was sit down and listen. He's done all the hard work. Even in his talks, he said, I have to learn for 20 over years to have this understanding so that I can narrate and then explain to you. He's made it so good, so simple. So something I would highly, highly recommend. Very, very beneficial. I always encourage my mom to listen. My wife is listening. So I think they've gone through 2 Nikayas now. So happy for them, and I would highly encourage that. If you don't understand at first, it doesn't matter, just continue. There'll be bits and pieces later. So it's like one piece of the puzzle here, you cannot see the picture. Another piece of the puzzle here, you cannot see the picture. And then puzzle piece here, piece here, piece here. Over time, it's like, oh, okay, that's a tree. Oh, looks like a tree. Then this one, oh, looks like the sun. It starts to make sense over time. You need determination, need to continue. So something I would highly, highly recommend. Then, luck has it, I start somehow meeting Guayans, and I didn't go out to seek them, Friends or somehow would just push me. Go see this guy. Brother Lim of Sumeru. I don't know if maybe some of you may have known of him. Again, very, very grateful because he helped me see things that are not normally understood. The simile of the 6 blind men and the elephant. We tend to see only one part of the elephant, 2 parts maybe, 3 parts if you're lucky. But there's still other facets of the elephant that we've not seen. So this part, I'm very grateful to him. He's shown me things, explained to me things. Then I was like, okay, but it's not really in the suttas, right? But I continued searching. Then over time I realized, oh, that's where it is. Because when I first met him, he was telling me, you asseverate on the power of truth. What? What's that? I never heard it. I've listened to the 5 Nikayas. There's no such word, asseveration. I went to Sutta Central, don't have such things, Where does it say asseverate on the power of truth? It wasn't there. Right? How do I make this work? He says it's very powerful. I didn't understand him. Until later, I realized that's the Angulimala Parita. Right? The Buddha taught Angulimala how to asseverate on the power of truth. However, today, that passage, Angulimala Parita, is in chanting books. People just chant it and expect a miracle. Expect that the mother and baby are safe. If you read it carefully here, what does it say? Ever since I was reborn in the holy life, I had never intentionally or knowingly taken the life of another being. Right? By the power of this truth, if what I say is true. Now, those people chanting, is it true? Did you keep your first precept? Right? Did you keep it perfectly? Did you not knowingly or intentionally take the life of another being? Right? That's why it may or may not work. Then I realized, that's the power of keeping your precepts. And that made me more determined. I'm going to keep it. Because I never know when I'm going to need this. And it's not only for mother and babies. The Buddha taught a principle. Right? He taught that by keeping our precepts, we can use this for a lot of things. Right? You keep 2 precepts, 3 precepts, 4 precepts, 5 precepts. It's 5 truths. Etena Satchavachena. So things that I never really seen before or understood, because it's not so direct. It's not so direct. But you link it back. Oh, it's there. These things are there. Then I was telling him, how do I get my mother to this? He says, do a 7-day Mahasangadana. I also asked him, how do I help my departed relatives? Do a 7-day Mahasangadana. So I did it. And I told my mom, I went home, tell my mom, I'm going to invite minimum 5 monks a day for 7 days in the house. She was like, what? Why so many people? Why you want to invite so many people to the house? Still COVID kind of time. So fear, aversion, all there. She wasn't very inclined. She wasn't happy, She wasn't happy. Doing this dana, she wasn't happy. She still did it anyway. It's like, kind of forced to, And then I thought, okay, bring them to the house. My mother and father will be there. My father ran away from the house. He said, you do lah. I'm thinking, Muhammad don't want to go to the mountain. I bring the mountain to Muhammad, then Muhammad run away. And how? They were very averse to this. My mom was averse to this. Then I had to check back, why were they averse? Then I did not understand their minds. They regarded themselves as Taoists. Oh yeah, I forgot. My uncle was the president of the Taoist Federation. He was the head of the religion. So we are Taoists. Why are we doing Buddhist things? We shouldn't be doing this. Then I realized because of uncle. They were afraid of what he might say. But in my journey, when I was learning things in the suttas, I actually had discussions with my uncle. I told him, I learned this, the Buddha said this. He said, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Because I wanted to see his perspective from the Tao Te Ching. He said, yes, what you learned was correct. Yes, what the Buddha said was correct. Then I'm like, hey, he's quite agreeable, huh? Seems like they quite match. I can't read Chinese, so I had to rely on him. So I realized my parents' aversion because they were afraid of what Big Brother might say. So one evening before the dana, I said, let's go visit my uncle. I said, okay, good. I drive them there. Then I was telling my uncle, when we make offerings to the Sangha, we're not bowing to the monk. It's to the robes, right? The robes, the banner of the Arahant. It's to the Buddha, right? I use the Buddha because Taoists still pay respect to the Buddha. Yeah, he said, correct. Then I said, this is very meritorious, and these merits we can dedicate to our devas. He's very happy, right? Because he's got a lot of, devas in Taoism. He's very happy. And then we can dedicate it to our late grandparents, their parents. Yes. So I invited him, please come. At the time, he was struggling after a quadruple bypass, not being able to walk. But he still made the determination, came every day. Then when he came, Bante Saranankara saw him. Then Bante was saying, I know your uncle for many, many years. They were the heads of the Interfaith Council. So my uncle was the head in Taoism. Bante was the head in Buddhism. They were peers. They were heads of their religions together. That day, the first day, my uncle kneeled and bowed down before Bante Saranankara. I was shocked. I was like, Even Bante Saranankara was like, no need to do it. Because he knows my uncle. He's known him for 20 over years. Then when I was sending Bante back to Sentul, he was like, Sam, you know how long I've known your uncle? I've known him for 20-something years, I cannot believe he did that today. Because he is Tao Zhang, right? I cannot believe he did that today. So I was so happy. My uncle came for every day for 7 days. I made it for him to offer all the food, robes, requisites, offerings for the monastery. Then I'll see him sitting down there, sadhu. I was like, very good. So I'm very happy that I was able to do this. After that, my parents also started coming to this. It started the Sanghadana, my wife's birthday, my daughter's birthday, my wife's birthday, and the last day was my dad's birthday. So the days he didn't want to come, I told my uncle, okay, go to the altar room, take the incense, invite my grandparents, right? Invite my grandparents. So I took a photo of my uncle doing it and sent to the family group chat. Okay, uncle has invited Akong Ama. Now you all better come and make the merits, dedicate to them. So I had to find ways in which to skillfully guide them to do this. So managed to complete this. And then later we also repeated this last year at our office. Also, the reason I showed this, I want to share. I asked Brother Lim, how do I get my mother more onto this Dhamma path? He says, well, okay, the merits that you have gained. You see, we know how to make merits, right? Do we really know how to use it? Do we know how to use it? Use it. He says, use your merits, right? The merits you have gained. He taught me how to do it. He said, okay, you just make this statement. You just go, by the power of the merits that I have gained from this 7-day Mahasangadana, may there arise the condition for my mother to meet the right teacher who can guide her in the Dhamma that leads to the ultimate liberation. I did it. Oh, I tell you, my mother is a changed person today. Now, whether it was due to this, due to that, I cannot prove nor disprove. All I can share with you is her current state of mind. She's changed. She would sit and meditate. Sometimes I go to a room, she'd sit and meditate. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I go home, last time she was watching politics and news. Now she's listening Bante Dhammavudo. Or the other Chinese Bante. Sometimes she's preferring it in Chinese. So I'm like, oh, maybe it works. Maybe it works. I don't know. I can't prove it. I can't disprove it. But I share with you the result I see. Just yesterday, a day before, Sayale Susila came over and we offered dana. Then they were last minute, okay, we're gonna attend her 1-day retreat. So yesterday, last minute, they just joined the retreat. I said, yeah, good, sadhu, good, go. So you see, my mother was never like this. Like 360-degree change. Managed to convince her to go to India. Before that, she was like, no, I don't want to go. So when she went to India, on the pilgrimage with SBS last year, before that, before we went to India, I had to skillfully maneuver for my parents to go to SBS. My mom is okay. At the time, she's kind of okay to go. But my dad, I couldn't tell him we were going to SBS. So I said, okay, Dad, we're going for a family trip. We're going to Taiping. I told my sisters, now, everyone go. Everyone must go. If you don't go, then Dad will say, okay, I'll stay at home with you. Everyone goes. I told him we go to the charcoal factory, we go to Kuala Sepetang. But I didn't tell him the next day we're going up to SBS. So next day, early morning, we went up there. So created the conditions for them to be one of the ones offering in the Sima Hall. And surprisingly, he didn't react adversely. I was like, oh, okay. You know, he went up there, he didn't have white pants. My mom said, he's wearing jeans and everything. I said, it's okay. Go up first. Once you reach up SBS, very hard to come down already. So I brought white pants in my bag, went up there. I said, Dad, change. Oh, he quite go and change. Change, and then they gave him a shirt, he also changed. He was happy. So over time, I realized as children, we can create conditions for our parents. Then, very thankful to a lot of the Sangha members who have accepted our invitations. And when I look back at the pictures, I see the happiness on their face, the joy on their face. The joy arises in me. Wow, okay, thank you. Because of all these conditions, I can now slowly plant the seeds for my parents. Now, will it help them this life? Can I pay them back this life? I don't know. Never mind. Keep doing it. Keep planting the seed. Whatever I can do, I keep planting. Because sometimes when you do, then you're like, they don't appreciate, don't do lah. Why you keep continuing? But then I got to check my own mind again. Look at my mind. No, don't think like this. Do it. Then sometimes, so many opportunities come up to the point you say, again. Right? Then I ask myself, hey, why you think like this? Right? People want opportunities they also don't get. You got the opportunity and you think like this? No, not a good thought. Not a good thought. Okay, whatever opportunities come, thank you, I'm very grateful. Come, we do happily. So, India, we went there. Also very grateful. Brother Lim shared with me. I was able to arrange for my mother to sponsor 4 katinas when we were in India, at the 4 holy sites. And at the time, we also invited everyone else who came together on the pilgrimage. And then you see the happy faces of everybody that joined together. And one of the very, very happy moments also was this. Bante Paladamika, his parents came. I had a chat with his parents, they were not Buddhists, Americans, right? And she was telling me, I don't know much about it. Then I was telling, sister, come. Bante Pala on that day agreed to join us this was in Kusinara for the Katina. So we got permission for him to join the Sangha as well. And then I told her, sister, come, offer the rope. She said, I can't kneel down. My hip is pain, my leg is pain, you know. But you know what? Later, she herself came. She herself went to in front of her son, kneeled down, held the rope. And then we have this moment. I was like, oh, I'm so happy, so happy. After that, Bhante Pala was telling me, oh, I was trying very hard to keep my composure. The mother was crying. The father was there, happy, you know. Things like this, I realized, oh, brings me a lot of joy. Knowing that I have the vipaka to create conditions like this for people. So, whatever I can, I just do. If I can, I just do. Because I look back in my life, look at the Kalyana Mittas I had. How come? How come when I want to do something, the friends arise, the Kwayan all came? This is my vipaka. I must have been people's Kwayan in the past. I must have planted these seeds in the past. Okay, I'm going to keep doing it. So I keep reflecting. I reflect a lot. And that's why I want to share with you also. This is something that was of great, great importance to me to understand Kamma Vipaka. In the past, I would go to temples, I would get books, and a lot of times it's only the Mahayana types. Then when you read it, it's like, it doesn't really make sense, some of them. Now, we come to the suttas, it's there. I've got copies of this in case people want. I will leave it outside later. I found this so important, but strangely, a lot of people found a lot of fear in this. If you look, Ducharita Vipaka Sutta, Chulakama Vibhanga Sutta, this is there. This is directly from the suttas. Of course, it gives the negative. You kill, it, the worst case, lead you to the 3 lower realms, or if you're reborn as a human, at the very minimum, short life. Right? So you get all these Kamma Vipaka understanding. But what did Buddha also say in certain suttas? If you want to have long life, there's no point just praying and wishing. Right? If you just pray and wish and everything can come true, no one will be short of anything. Instead, you want long life. You practice conducive to long life. What's conducive to long life? So at the time, when we were starting to listen to Dhamma, you also listen and hear different views, different opinions. But to me, I do. I look at this. The Buddha always taught one side. If you do this, you get this. He always taught the other side as well. The positive and the negative side. So let's look at the positive side. You want long life, what do? You do the opposite of killing. Right? You want not to have sickliness, you want health, what do? The opposite of harming beings with your hand, fist, clods, knives. Do the opposite. You want to be beautiful, stop being angry. The other way, metta. Actually, with this chart, we can create great conditions for our life. Great, great, great conditions. So it's up to our choice, of course, right? I always try to go back to the suttas, very, very important. Now, I always look at this because in doing what I used to do, I just take on whatever responsibilities, continually doing things. But this really guided me. But the Buddha said, a wise person will take on the responsibility that befalls them. He would not take on responsibilities that do not befall him. A foolish person, he take on responsibilities that don't befall him. The responsibilities that befall him, he doesn't do. Then I look back, I used to do that a lot. Kepochi, not my problem, go and, you must do this for this other person, you must go and get involved here, get involved there because of this is not right, principle is not good, Then I look back, what are my own responsibilities first? I check back, I look back. Okay, go back in time. What's my responsibility? Number 1, I was born as a son to my parents. That's my responsibility. They're still alive. Okay, let me do it. I'm going to be responsible for my parents. How do I do it? What can I do? Repaying parents, sharing, guiding them. Number 2, I chose to be a husband. I've got my wife. She's my responsibility. Taking care of her. And then, last time she would go and buy things that beautify herself, facial. I was like, waste money. Then I'd read the sutta, okay, give money to your wife so that she can beautify herself. Okay, fine, fine. She can adorn herself. I'm like, okay, it's in the sutta. Listen to the Buddha. We took refuge after all, right? Fine, fine, go and do. Then I chose to be a father, right? My kids are my responsibility. So I always tell them and share with them. Every day I send them to school. I get them to listen to short Dhamma talks. They don't like it, but I'm going to make them do it because that's my responsibility, right? I told them, I don't know how long I'll be here for. I may not be here tomorrow, right? At the end of the day, I'm guiding you to take care of yourself. You cannot always rely on me, rely on your mother, right? We may not be here. I may not be here tomorrow. You have to understand this. So as long as I'm here, and then I took the responsibility, I will send them to school. Why? So that they can do this. Because they're very happy when I'm not available, the mother send them to school and say, oh, I can sleep finally in the car. So on the drive to school, they will listen to a short Dhamma talk. I will ask them, what did you learn? I want them to tell me. What have they contemplated? What have they understood? So the Bante from Watts and Friend, the one who has done a lot of the Jataka stories, and he's got daily short sermons, very grateful to him. So those are the conditions that we've been having. And one question I always like to ask friends, if you had a big red button, magic button, you press this button and you get to restart this whole life again, would you do it? Would you do it? There's a caveat, huh? There's a caveat, huh? You've got to experience every single thing again until today. Would you do it? How many would do it, actually? Nobody? Why not? Why not? Haven't we had happy times? Maybe births of your children, right? Gifts that you gain, money that you've gained, pleasures that you've experienced. We've all had this. But we've also had a lot of suffering. We've gone through a lot just to experience those things. So a lot of times we say, I look forward to my next birth. You think it won't be the same? You think you're not going to go through this thing again? Really? Sure? That's why when I think about it, I was like, enough. Enough already. So it's the same with all the other things I went through. Again, enough already. So for me, I tell myself, enough. Whatever I can do, I better do it. Finish. Dilute whatever salt I've added. I've added a lot of salt. I've got a lot of salt. Very salty. All kinds of salt. Himalaya salt, sea salt. Whatever salt is in there. So whatever I can do, whatever opportunity I have, I'll dilute it. Because if not, we will experience it. You cannot run. Right? You cannot run away from it. I'm the heir. I'm the owner of my karma. Heir of my karma. Karma is my origin. Karma is my relative. Karma is my resort. I will be the heir of my karma, good or bad, that I do. I frequently recollect this. So at every moment, every day, ask myself, I want to add more salt or add more water? I still get angry, I still get frustrated, I still get agitated. Then after that, I look back, salt again. Okay. We must let go. So it's a process, it's a continuous process. All right? Continuous process. And that's why this path is so amazing. When I look at this path, I realize, wow, this Dhamma is so profound. It's not easy. And that's why I'm so grateful to our teacher. Had it not been our teacher who's had the compassion to guide us in this, we won't be here today. Right? We won't be having a discussion today on this. And each experiencing things that has changed your life or made you realize and take on different decisions. So this is a journey. I'm still walking the journey, and hopefully we have had things that made sense, related, made comments that would have sparked certain recollection of things that we also do. We've done a lot of this, right? In different ways, forms, sizes, but you realize it's always the same thing again. And, hopefully all of us, if your aspiration was to not repeat this again and again, right? Yeah, may all your aspirations come true.